We'll start with the pairs. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavaditamastu ma Vidvishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Kathopanishad is a very beautiful Upanishad discussing the reality, the truth behind the entire universe. The teacher is Lord Yamadharma Raja, and Nachiketa is the student. Here we come to know what happens to us when the body dies. That is a direct question asked by Nachiketa. What happens when the body dies? What happens to the soul? The entire Upanishad is an answer to this question. We are studying the second chapter, the first section. We have finished 4 verses. Today we're going to start the 5th verse. What we have done and what is this section right now is it is discussing the central, essential teaching of Kathopanishad. This section is a very important section where most of the verses which we learn end with etat vaitat. Etat vaitat means this is what you wanted to know, Nachiketa. So the teacher 12 verses, one after the other, and teaches Nachiketa, can you take a vision to this new vision of this universe? This is the vision we all have to get as seekers of our own reality, as seekers of the truth, as seekers of God. This is what the vision which the Upanishad wants to teach us. So these 12 verses, understand clearly, contemplate on them. Whatever is the result you feel, own it up. That is the Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam process of spiritual understanding. So with this background, let's see where we stand on the fourth verse. Before this, in the 3rd verse itself, etat vaitat starts. So in the 3rd verse, what did the Lord teach? In the 3rd verse, he said that I am the consciousness principle. I am not the body. Nachiketa wanted to know, after the death of the body, what remains? So what remains? The direct answer is the first teaching of Yamadharmaraja in the 2nd chapter. He says, you, the consciousness, survives the death of the body. What is the nature of this consciousness? In the previous chapter, he said this consciousness is the power behind all the 5 sense organs. The 5 sense organs, they see the 5 sense objects in the world. But the power of these 5 sense organs does not belong to the sense organs. It belongs to consciousness. So that is the teaching. This is the first level of teaching. This is all of us must understand how I should look at myself. I am the pure consciousness, which is the life force in this body, the divine force, which makes this body alive. It makes the body conscious and it makes the mind conscious, the sense organs conscious and sentient to experience the world of objects. This consciousness is ever the seer. Seer means perceiver because it is a power. So when I close my eyes, what should I tell myself? I am the power behind this body. For those who have done Drigdrishya Viveka, I am the ever Drig, ever perceiver, the seer, the ever hearer. The hearing capacity never goes off. Seeing capacity, that means the power always remains the same for the five sense organs, but individually the sense organs may lose their power. So this is what is said in the first mantra of the teaching, which is the verse number 3. I am always existent consciousness principle. Now let us go to the second verse, which is the verse number 4, about this teaching of who am I.
स्वप्नान्तं जागरितान्तं स्वप्नान्तं जागरितान्तं चौभौ येनानुपश्यति चौभौ येनानुपश्यति महान्तं विभुमात्मानं महान्तं विभुमात्मानं मत्वा धीरो न शोचति मत्वा धीरो न शोचति.
In Kathopanishad also, from this verse until the 10th verse, the Avastatraya Vichara is being done. For all who are attending the Sunday sessions on Mandukya Upanishad, they will find this section very useful to get a full grasp of the entire teaching of Mandukya. So in about 6 to 7 verses in Kathopanishad, you will learn Mandukya Upanishad, starting from this verse onwards. What does this verse say? This verse says that consciousness is there in which I, the consciousness, can see the end of my dream state and beginning of the waking state. In simple terms, it means consciousness is always there. Waking state, dream state, sleep state keep on coming and going. We all experience dream. So there is a beginning of the dream, there is an end of the dream. There is a beginning of waking, there is an end of waking. Some principle in this body is in charge or is looking at this principle called as the seer principle. And that principle is called as Sakshi. That is the essence behind this verse. Let us see what the other aspects are. So Atma is revealed as Avastatraya Sakshi, which is Turiyam. Sakshi means it is a witness. Suppose you are a witness to some incident, you are not participating in it, but you are a witness. So Vedanta says, for this experience of ours, which is the waking, dream, and sleep, it says that these three states belong to the mind. And there is another principle which is called as consciousness, which never sleeps, which is always awake. This consciousness is different than the three states. It does not participate in the three states. It is always a witness. Therefore, this is what Lord Yamadharmaraja wants to teach Nachiketa. There is a principle of consciousness which is aware of the presence of gross objects in the waking state, subtle objects in the dream state, and no objects in the sleep state. Now I think you will be able to understand the nature of consciousness. Then the next question comes, what is the size of this consciousness? Is it the consciousness is of the size of this body? Or is it all pervading in the universe? It is limitless principle. It is timeless. Whatever is not in time will not decay or will not have death. There is no disease for consciousness. The body has disease, the body has a fall, but consciousness is ever existing principle. Mahantam. Mahantam means all pervading. It is not located only in the brain. Science says that consciousness is a principle which is generated in the brain. It is an impulse, electrical impulse in the brain. That is the definition of consciousness according to science. Vedantic definition of consciousness is completely different. It is a divine principle in Vedanta. It is all pervading principle. It does not depend on the brain. Brain depends on consciousness for its survival. Vibhum, infinitely big. Relatively big means whatever we are experiencing in the world, in Vyavahara. The room space, the pot space, these are all big, small, and so on. Galaxy space, all this is, there is a dimension in Vyavahara. But in absolute terms, when you are beyond the time and space, that is what is called as Mahantam. Locationless. There is no location for Mahantam. Mahantam means limitless. The one who experiences anupashyati, yena anupashyati. What does the Sakshi perceive? It perceives the Jagrat, the waking state, as well as the sleep state, without undergoing a change. That is why Sakshi or consciousness is called as deathless principle. Knowing this deathless principle, I can say I am that pure consciousness and I can get rid of all my sorrows in life, all my fears about death come to an end when I first of all I have to know this consciousness. Second, I have to claim this consciousness as myself. Now, both these are difficult propositions for a seeker in the beginning. But as you study more and more, what happens is all this becomes a reality. It becomes very easy. I can drop my body and mind at any moment. It's only a cognition. It is only a thought in the mind. I am not the body. I am not the mind. It is the body and mind which is experiencing the world. So, what is common between waking and dream is the consciousness, the observing principle. The observing principle, together with the mind and sense organs, will experience the gross world. The same observing consciousness principle, with the help of mind and the vasanas, will experience the subtle objects in dream. So in dream, the objects are made out of thoughts. Thoughts are called as vritti or vasana in Sanskrit. So as I said, what is common to both of them is this consciousness. A person sees the waking and dream in this consciousness, which is pure. All the time, consciousness is pure. So, without this light of consciousness, we can't say that anything is there. Neither can we say that there is the world, neither can we say that the world is also not. Both are not possible. See, in the state, there is no thought. It is a thoughtless state. A thoughtless state is an unmanifest state of the mind. But consciousness is illumining that. That is why when I wake up in the morning, I say I didn't experience anything. Experience always requires mind. So the light of consciousness is with the objects, gross objects and subtle objects in the waking and dream. It is without the objects in the sleep state. See, this is the step by step understanding of who am I. If you follow this step by step analysis of the next 10 verses, you will know the entire Vedanta in a nutshell. Iti matva dhiraha. This is how the intelligent, wise people think about this world. This is a totally different vision compared to the normal vision which we have before coming to Vedanta. It is, I am this consciousness in which the whole world is coming and going. It is a very, very new vision. All our intellects will find it extremely difficult in the beginning to accept this also. But once we know that Veda is a pramanam, it is a source of knowledge for the self in us. Our problem is we look at our mind and start going deep inside the mind itself, which is a wrong thing to do in meditation. All we will see is all our thoughts which are bubbling. Raga, Dvesha, I like this, I don't like this, I have to do this, Karta, Bhokta. This is what we will see in our mind inside because we are watching the thoughts. From watching the thoughts, which is the first stage in meditation, you have to go to the second stage of meditation and say, I am not this mind. Mind is a appearance in me. I am the screen. The movie called as mind, I see it, but remember, I am the screen, always the screen. The screen never has birth. The screen never has death. Okay. So as I said, 5 to 10, the next five, the 6 mantras are going to be a technical subject called as Sarvatma Bhava. This Sarvatma Bhava is very, very famous in Upanishad, where Atma is taught as the pure consciousness, which includes everything in the world. The earth doesn't know that there is an Atma inside the earth. The air doesn't know there is an Atma behind it. The Surya doesn't know there is an Atma behind it. All the Panchabhutas, they don't know there is an Atma behind all of them. If you come to know there is an Atma behind the entire universe, you would have this bhava, this attitude that everything is in me only. There are three pairs. Now we are going to start the Mandukya Upanishad lesson. From now on, I will show you which verse, which portion of Mandukya we are covering. As you all know, this waking state is given two names. The observer is called as Vishwa, extreme right, that is waking, and the world is called as Virat. Then the dreamer is called as Prajna. For those who are not doing Mandukya, I'm trying to explain you what are these six terms. In the dream state, the dreamer is called as Taijasa, and the dream world is called as Hiranyagarbha. In the sleep state, the sleeper is called as Prajna, and the ignorance which envelops the sleeper is called as Ishvara or Maya Shakti. Sarvam Brahmamayam Jagat. Sarvam Atma iti Jnanam. The world is Maya. This Maya is a Shakti. It is a power which belongs to Atma or Brahman. So the entire waking world and the dream world is a projection of this Maya principle. It is a power. And if I come to know that this power is what is this whole world, what happens then? I can then try to see what lies behind the power. What is that Maya Shakti, what is that on whom this Maya Shakti is resting on, which is called as the Adhishtanam, which is the Atma, which is the pure Chaitanya. In Tattva Bodha, we learn these principles and we say in Tattva Bodha that consciousness manifests or it reflects, it is capable of reflecting in matter principle. Whenever it reflects in the matter principle, the same consciousness which exists without the matter also exists with the matter, and that is what is we call it as manifestation of the world. See, this is a technical study. So you should understand technically how do I have a vision of this world. My eyes are seeing my body, it is seeing the objects in the world, but then I don't understand what is this consciousness principle. To understand consciousness, you have to understand it in this fashion. So the expression of consciousness, which is manifesting in the matter medium, whenever we talk about the world of Panchabhutas, we say it is a reflected consciousness, Pratibimba Chaitanyam. When I look at myself, I will say I am Bimba Chaitanya. I am the pure consciousness. I am the original face. When I look at my mirror, at the mirror in front, I see a reflection in the mirror. My face is getting reflected. Then that face, reflected face, is called as Pratibimbam. So whenever I'm seeing this universe in the waking state, I will say I am seeing my own reflection in the world. I, the consciousness, not the body. Body is material. Body doesn't have consciousness. There is no intrinsic consciousness in the body. So it is called as Chit Abhasa. What is Chit Abhasa? Chit Abhasa means it is a reflection of consciousness in our mind. Through our mind, the sense organs, they get activated. When they get activated, the world of objects is experienced by the Jeev. So there is an original consciousness which is called as Bimba Chaitanyam, which is never doesn't have any vikara. It is kutastha. It is always the same. But the reflection can have many changes. So if the reflection in this body of consciousness, if that reflected consciousness has got is undergoing through the body, the pain of the body, through the mind, the different sorrows of the mind, then what should you say? You should say, I am not the reflected consciousness. I am the original consciousness, which all of us experience in our sleep state. So the quality of this reflection of the consciousness is our mind. Our mind is dull, our mind is bright, our mind is sattvic, our mind is tamasic or rajasic. So when the reflection falls on this mind, we say, I am tired. We say, I am disturbed. Don't disturb me today. I am very, very agitated. A husband will come home and say, no, don't talk to me today. I am extremely disturbed because of something happening in my office. It is the rajas in the mind. It has to go to sattva mode, and then only you can have peace in the mind. So this chart below is an exact chart of Mandukya Upanishad. There is a Chaitanyam which gets reflected in an individual body called as Vyashti Chaitanya. And then there is a Samashti Chaitanya. The total mind. You see, all the minds in the world together is the total mind. Whatever is the consciousness which shines in that is called as Samashti Chaitanya. So the three names which are given to Vyashti is Vishwa, Taijasa, Prajna. Waker, dreamer, sleeper. The three names given to Samashti Chaitanya is Virat in the waking state, Hiranyagarbha in the dream state, Ishvara in the sleep state. And in each of them, you will find a reflected consciousness. So there are 6 reflected consciousness in the 6 reflecting mediums. All the mediums are matter principles. All the reflections are the sentient principle. So you will find that in the world, everything is moving, everything is, like that the wind is blowing, the sun is shining, the bodies are moving, the intellect is shining, all because it is a mixture of consciousness and matter. In the waking state, it is the physical body which is pradhanam. The subtle body is also there, the causal body is also there, but prominence is given in the waking state to the physical body. In the dream state, the prominence is given to the mind, which is subtle body. And in the sleep state, it is given to the Karana Shariram, which is the causal body. So this one consciousness, when it is experiencing the Karana Shariram, we will say it is blankness, it is sleep state. And according to Mandukya Upanishad, that is the cause of the subtle and the physical bodies, gross bodies. It is the cause. The sleep state is the cause of the dream state and the waking state. Because you don't know, there is a Turiyam, which is the original consciousness, which is always Nityaha, which is always there. So when you look at the totality, we are talking about prapancha. Prapancha means world. Okay. So this chart, I hope it's clear. If it is not clear, you can always ask me at the end of the session in your chat box. So Sthula Shariram is an individual body which is experienced by all. How do I see my Sthula Shariram? Consciousness is reflected in my mind. Mind is reflecting, the consciousness is reflecting the sense organs. The sense organs are perceiving the form of the body. What is Sukshma Shariram? Sukshma Shariram is the subtle body. It cannot be seen by others. The physical body is seen by me, and the physical body is seen by others also. The subtle body, these are all Tattva Bodha lessons. But good revision, because the whole Mandukya you're trying to understand in 6-7 verses of Kathopanishad. Now you know why these three states in Mandukya are so important. In Kaivalya Upanishad it comes, in Prashno Upanishad it comes, in Kathopanishad it comes. Almost every Upanishad will have something to do with this, because the three states is nothing but Anubhava Pramanam. It is our experience. So the Karana, the subtle body can be experienced by us. My thoughts only I can know. My emotions only I will know. Others' emotions I will be able to perceive through the physical features of the person, but I will not know the exact emotion which the person is having. And Karana Shariram is not known by me and by others also. It is the subtlest layer of human personality, and it can be known only when it comes to manifestation. For example, there is a potential dream world existing in my mind right now. What I'm going to dream tonight, it is there in the causal body. But I don't know. I also don't know. Nobody knows it. When it manifests in the dream, when the dream state manifests tonight in my sleep state, then I come to know, oh, this is what is there in the Karana. If I come to know that there is one consciousness which is behind all the minds, all the physical bodies, and the entire universe, that is called as Sarvatma Bhava. It is the Atma of the entire Jagat. It is one Atma which expresses in all the jivas as individual body-mind complex. The fifth verse, which is the next verse we are going to do, is talking about the causal body, Prajna and Ishvara. Now you can remember. The 6, 7, and 9 is talking about dream state. Taijasa and Prajna. Taijasa and Hiranyagarbha. Then the 8th verse talks about the physical body, the Virat and the Vishwa, the nature of Virat and Vishwa. And the 10th verse is the Sarvatma Bhava, which is what is this micro and macro? Micro is nothing else but macro. And what supports this macro is Adhisthana Atma. Okay? It's a very, very beautiful presentation in Kathopanishad. These 5, 6 mantras, try to understand. You will reach what is the central teaching of this Upanishad. The question is very clear. What is there when a man dies? When a person dies, what remains? It is this Atma, which is the substratum of the whole universe that survives the death of the body. Body goes away, a person, I will not be able to see the Atma of the other person, like I also cannot see my own Atma. I can only say I am the Atma. Is there an example you can give me to understand what is this one consciousness which is appearing in many forms? The best example given in the Veda is like you have a small wave, a big wave, and the ocean. The ocean, vast ocean, is nothing but Samashti, Ishvara. Wave is only a small portion. It is the Jiva, individual. So, ocean is a Samashti, Ishvara. The Jiva is a small wave which rises and falls. The rising of a Jiva is called as birth. The fall of the wave is called as the death of the Jiva. But what is the truth behind the wave and the ocean? All of you know the answer. Water. Water represents consciousness, which never dies. That is the principle. The truth behind Jivatma and Paramatma is one Atma, and that is Advaita Chaitanya. There is no two Atmas, only one. It is non-dual. This Atma is beyond place and time. Therefore, this Atma can never get affected by time principle. Who is that consciousness? I am that consciousness. Don't look around. Don't look at. Don't say it is. I will know after my death only. No, we can know it here and now. I am that Atma. Aham eva idagum sarvam. If I know that Atma consciousness is me, I can make this statement. I alone am the Jiva. I alone am the Ishvara, which is the essence in all these verses from 5 to 10. Okay, so this is an introduction to the next section, Sarvatma Bhava, which is verses from 5 to 10. With this background, you will be able to understand the next 6 verses. Let's see how it goes.
य इमं मद्वदं वेद य इमं मद्वदं वेद आत्मानं जीवमन्तिकात् आत्मानं जीवमन्तिकात् ईशानं भूतभव्यस्य ईशानं भूतभव्यस्य न ततो विजुगुप्स्यते न ततो विजुगुप्स्यते एतद्वैतत् एतद्वैतत्
Etadvaitat. Nachiketa, this is what you wanted to know. You wanted to know what is there after death. This is what? This Atma is what you want to know. What is the nature of this Atma? I'm going to explain in the next 5, 6 verses. Lord Yamadharmaraja is teaching Nachiketa. One who knows this Atma, he will cross the fear of death. This is a pramanam to say, I will have no fear if I understand Kathopanishad correctly. I must have a crystal clear idea of what the teaching is. If I have that idea, if I can get that idea out of these verses, I will be fearless in my life. Throughout my life, let death come at any point of time. I am not the physical body, I am the consciousness. This is the confidence of a seeker once he learns these verses of Kathopanishad or Mandukya Upanishad. That confidence comes in us. I can never die. The world can go out of appearance, which happens every day in my sleep. In my sleep state, I don't experience this body, this mind, this sorrow, this joy, this world. I don't experience anything, but I am there. Nobody says I am not there in sleep. That I which is there without this body mind experience, that I is called as Sakshi. That is the sustainer of life. It is not the prana which is going in this body which makes this body live. It is the consciousness which is, lies behind the prana, which keeps even the prana alive. It is the sustainer of life. It is beyond the past and the future. So, whenever you are not thinking of the past, you remember Nachiketa's question? Nachiketa's question was, Oh Lord of Death, tell me what you see lying beyond the past and the future. Here is where Lord is teaching Nachiketa. This Atma, which you wanted to know, is beyond time principle. Time comes only when the body is experienced. Either the physical body or the subtle body is experienced, then only you experience time. Otherwise, I am timeless. Where is this timeless principle? Or is it in Vaikuntha? Is it in Shivaloka? Is it in some heaven or something? No, 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 no. It is very, very near. It is not inside you, it is not outside you. It is you. If I can claim at any point of time through this understanding, through this vision, it's a grand vision of the Upanishad. It is through the Shankaracharya's Ashyams, we get this type of analysis. We are able to analyze these mantras so well that I can also reach what the Upanishad wants me to understand. That is the. So in this verse number 5, Atma is the karta and the bhokta. That means all actions are done indirectly by this consciousness only. In the presence of consciousness, this body becomes a bhokta. It is becomes an enjoyer of different objects. But in the presence of the art, you should never think like you can never have a movie in your TV screen without the screen, without the background, the white background. You cannot have the experience of the movie. Similarly, without the consciousness, you cannot talk about any experience in the world. Atma expresses as Prajna and Ishvara. So in this verse, we are talking about the sleep state. We are talking about a mumukshu yaha antiket veda. The one who comes to know recognizes this Atma, understands, discerns this Atma as what? It is the original consciousness. It is me, myself. This I am not an object, I am the subject. I am the subject in the form of the sleeper in the sleep state. I am the subject in the form of Ishvara, which is the resolution ground for the entire cosmos. What is the definition of Ishvara? Ishvara is that principle from whom the entire world rises, from in whom the world sustains, and in whom the third aspect is in whom the world resolves. Here, we are talking about the resolution ground of the individual body and the totality. Like one electricity, it can be behind the stadium bulb or it can be behind a 1 watt bedroom lamp. But it is one electricity. Expression of that electricity can be in a very minute way, or it can be in a giant stadium lamp. Similarly, one Atma is Paramatma, cause of the entire universe. And it can be a small spark in the Jivatma. That spark is me, the Prajna, but I should understand that spark is not it is the essence of the spark is the electricity. Essence of the Jiva is this consciousness. It is this Atma, which is the self of all. That is why we say it is Sarvatma. Ishana Bhuta Bhavasyasya. It is the Isha, it is the Lord, which is called as Ishvara. At the macro level, it is the Karana Prapancha Pratibimba Chaitanya. This is a technical word of whatever is we are trying to understand in the sleep state. In the sleep state, there is a Karana Prapancha, the causal world, potential world, which exists in the sleep condition of the Jiva. And in the case of Jiva, what happens? That karma phalam, samsari, it is in potential condition in the sleep state. So in the sleep state, don't get intoxicated by the sleep state and say, I want to sleep the whole time. No, you can't. Ultimately, what does the wise man understand? He understands that this prajna jiva and and Ishvara, which is the causal prapancha, it is only a reflection only. It is only a seeming Atma. It is not the real Atma. The real Atma is akaranam. It is beyond the cause and effect. Vijugupsa. Vijugupsa means one who is ever seeking security, who is always desiring wealth, real estate. If he gets this knowledge of Atma, then he has na vijugupsate. That means he doesn't have any more fear of insecurity. He has become fearless because it is one Atma which is playing the drama of this entire universe. Dakshinamurti Stotram, the first Stotram, talks about this Bimba Chaitanyam and Pratibimba Chaitanyam. Vishwam Darpana Drishyamana Nagari, Tulyam Nijantargatam. It is inside, Nij Antargatam. The Lord is not presented outside. The Lord is inside the human body mind complex as the consciousness principle. That consciousness is the protector of the body. So, one which is behind this Atma, I, behind the universe and this body is one Atma. That Atma is the ultimate destination which Nachiketa wanted to know. That is why Lord says, Etat Vaitat. Don't ever forget this word Etat Vaitat. Very important verses in the Kathopanishad. Whenever somebody says Kathopanishad, immediately say Etat Vaitat. I know. The Lord taught me in Kathopanishad, Etat Vaitat, Etat Vaitat. This is what you wanted to know. Next verse.
यः पूर्वं तपसो जातं यः पूर्वं तपसो जातम् अद्भ्यः पूर्वमजायत अद्भ्यः पूर्वमजायत गुहां प्रविश्य तिष्ठन्तम् गुहां प्रविश्य तिष्ठन्तं यो भूतेभिर्व्यपश्यत यो भूतेभिर्व्यपश्यत एतद्वैतत् एतद्वैतत्.
So sixth verse is also talking about Hiranyagarbha principle, the subtle body, the dream state, Hiranyagarbha and Taijasa. Now, here, what is said is that due to tapas of Brahmaji, this is a Vedic style of presentation of this universe. First, this is the creation theory, how creation happens in Kathopanishad. It says that there is from the Brahmaji, the creator. The Brahmaji means what? It is the creator of this entire universe, which is called as Brahma. Now, he first created one principle called as the subtle body first, which is the Hiranyagarbha principle. This Hiranyagarbha was born before the five elements. And it is this Hiranyagarbha which is inside all the five elements. That is what it is said in this month. Consciousness is there in it is through this Hiranyagarbha principle, which is a subtle principle. It is there in all the five elements. Atma expresses as Hiranyagarbha. What is Hiranyagarbha? The total mind principle, because mind is a subtle body. The first born out of the Karana Shariram is what? The subtle body. The subtle body is represented by Hiranyagarbha and Taijasa. So Atma expresses as the individual Sukshma Shariram called as Taijasa. It also expresses as the total of all the minds, which is the total Sukshma Shariram. That total Sukshma Shariram is a reflecting medium for the entire creation. Like my mind is the medium for the entire body, physical body, the whole body is reflection from the subtle body only. So how Hiranyagarbha was born? These are all ways to make our mind subtler and subtler. Hiranyagarbha was born as a reflection of Ishvara. Like I get a reflection of Ishvara, of myself in the mirror. As soon as this subtle body comes up, then there is a reflection of Ishvara of the causal universe. There is a reflection of that. That reflection is called as Hiranya. So consciousness is always present. Whenever you see the universe, the gross universe is what we are all seeing, which is the Virat principle. That we will discuss in the following mantra. But here we are discussing the subtle aspect. So how was the causal universe born? Causal universe was never born. It was always there. Anadi principle. It was there before Pralayam. It is there after Shrishti. So the name of the reflection is called Ishvara. So consciousness reflected in the whole world is Ishvara. What is the Sukshma Prapancha? Sukshma Prapancha is all the laws which govern the universe. You don't see the law of gravitation. You don't see the law of attraction, repulsion. You don't see all those laws because our eyes are not able to see. Our sense organs cannot perceive the laws. How do the cosmos, how does the galaxy move? Perfect unison. There is a perfect law. The sun rises exactly at the same time every day. How? That is the law. That cannot be seen. Now that law, that means there is a consciousness which is behind that law. And that consciousness behind the laws which govern the universe, that consciousness is called as Turiyam or Atma. Mundakopanishad says this mantra, yes sarvajna sarva vidyasya jnanamayam tapaha. From the tapaha, that is from the thinking process of that sentient principle, this entire creation came. Like we also create. Like for example, you may be sitting in the beach, and you must be wondering about so many things in life. When will I get married? Who will I get married to? What will happen to me? All that is a thought process. Now that is the Maya, that is the Shakti which is there in the entire creation for this creation. Dakshinamurti sloka number 2, last just before this we saw sloka number 1, which talks about the reflection. Here in Dakshinamurti, Bijasya like the seed of a tree, you can't know that the whole tree, banyan tree, which will come. Same message comes in Bhagavad Gita 15th chapter also, second verse. Like the seed, this is the seed, this is the power. There is a power behind this universe, which is called as Maya Shakti, which unfolds the universe for all of us. So, what is what comes first? What comes first is this Hiranyagarbha principle. What comes later, Abhyapurvam, is the 5 elements. From the 5 elements, the entire grossification takes place, and then there is a Virat. Virat means the gross universe is born. So, suppose you say in Tamil Nadu, India is there or not? Yes, India is there in all the states. Similarly, in the gross, when you look at the totality, in all the bodies, individual bodies, the totality is represented. It is there. What is micro? Micro is nothing but it is macro, a form of macro only. So this is what you wanted to know. That is what the Lord of Death is teaching. The whole subtle creation is explained in verse number 6. Subtle, you see the gross world, but there is a subtle world behind it. That subtle world is powered by this Atma. This is the knowledge. There is a subtle world, okay, we can know from science. But what lies behind that? Who is that power? Etat Vaitat, that power behind the Hiranyagarbha is nothing but this Atma. Okay, next verse.
या प्राणेन सम्भवति या प्राणेन सम्भवति अदितिर्देवतामयी अदितिर्देवतामयी गुहां प्रविश्य तिष्ठन्तीं गुहां प्रविश्य तिष्ठन्तीं या भूतेर्भिर्व्यजायत या भूतेभिर्व्यजायत एतद्वैतत् एतद्वैतत्.
See, slowly the Lord is teaching from causal body first in the fifth mantra. In the 6, 7, 8, 9 mantras, these mantras, he is talking about the subtle. From the causal Prapancha or Ishvara, the subtle Hiranyagarbha was born. Now, this is a description of the Hiranyagarbha. This is a total subtle body. In Tattva Bodha, subtle body is nothing but the five Jnana Indriyas, five Karma Indriyas, five Pranas, and then Manaha and Buddhi. All the 17 together is the subtle body or subtle prapanch. At the body level, it is called as body. At the individual level, it is called as the body. At the total level, it is called as samashti sukshma prapancha. With the body, it is called as vyashti sukshma sharira. Now, these indriyams means the power of a sense organ to see the world. The five pancha indriyas, our eyes, our ears, our skin, our nose, all this tongue, all these are power. That power is called as devata. All the devatas, they depend on prana devata, the breathing. You see, the pancha pranas are there. There is a story in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad and Keno Upanishad. Which organ is the most powerful in amongst all these 17 organs? Is it the ear? Is it the eyes? Is it the mind? But then they all go out for 1 year. Nothing happens to the body. Body can still survive. But when prana is about to leave, you all may have heard this story in Keno Upanishad. I have done Keno Upanishad before. So you might have heard this story. Just a remembrance that when the prana is about to leave, the eyes are drooling. The mind is almost choking. It cannot even think. All the powers of the indriyams, they're all losing one by one. Because the prana shakti is nothing else but the samashti hiranyagarbha. And what represents this samashti hiranyagarbha principle in the world? Surya. Surya Devata is the Devata, it is the power which controls not only one Sukshma Shariram, but the entire Sukshma Shariram of the entire universe. So, here we must know the teaching here is there is a Devata which is behind the sense organs, and you wanted to know what is there after death. These devatas are still there. Your eyes cannot see them, but Lord of Death knows this because he knows he is the Lord. He is the Ishvara principle. Etat Vaitat. Very beautiful verses. It is a step-by-step understanding of Tattva Bodha, consciousness principle, reflected consciousness, then Vyashti, Samashti, then gross body, gross universe, subtle body, subtle universe. Exactly Tattvabodha lessons are being taught here in these verses. Then the avasthas, whatever we learned in Tattvabodha also.
अरण्योर्निहितो जातवेदा अरण्योर्निहितो जातवेदा गर्भः इव शुभ्रुतो गर्भिणीभिः गर्भः इव शुभ्रुतो गर्भिणीभिः दिवे दिवे ईड्यो जागृवद्भिः दिवे दिवे ईड्यो जागृवद्भिः हविष्मद्भिर्मनुष्येभिरग्निः हविष्मद्भिर्मनुष्येभिरग्निः एतद्वैतत् एतद्वैतत्.
In all these verses, the emphasis is on the consciousness. Don't forget the consciousness. Consciousness is expressing as the causal world, subtle world, gross world. Here we are talking about how that consciousness is expressing as the gross world of Virat and Vishwa. Virat means sthula prapancha, samashti sthula prapancha, visible, tangible, gross universe. It is represented as the Agni Tattva. Agni means it is a fire. Fire principle is represented as the Virat principle. Because through this Agni Tattvam, only the whole universe comes as per Chandogya Upanishad. There are three elements: Agni, Apaha, Prithvi. Now, Vishwa is a individual sarira, visible, tangible, gross body. Now, Agni has got three meanings. One is the fire element. Second meaning is the Nachiketa Agni ritual. And then the third meaning is the Virat Devata. Virat Devata is the Agni Deva. See, whenever there is a yajna going on, they have a huge fire. That fire, you pray as the Virat Devata, the gross universe. The Devata behind the gross universe is this Agni Devata. That is the Devata which is being taught here. It is being referred here. Not the first two. The first two, there is a reference number has been given here, 13 and 14 of the first chapter. So their Agni Devata ritual, the Nachiketa ritual was talked about. I've just quoted the mantras here. But here, the Agni Tattvam, it is there inside the body and also outside the body. Inside the body, where is it? I don't see any fire inside the body. Vaishwanara Agni, it is there in the body. It is mentioned in the 15th chapter, 14th verse, very, very famous verse, which everybody who is a sadhaka in a school, in an Advaita school, he will chant this one verse before the food. Before taking the lunch, you also can chant this. Aham Vaishwanaro Bhutva Praninam Dehamashritah Pranapanasama Pachamyannam Chaturvidham. I am that Vaishwanara Agni, the digestive fire which breaks the food and it circulates the nutrients throughout the body. It keeps your body energetic. I am the digestive fire. The Lord says this in Bhagavad Gita. So, whenever we eat food, remember, you want to remember God? Chant this verse. At any time you just chant, what will happen is the food which you take, it is divinized and it will do its job, what it is meant for. So this digestive fire is the Agni Tattvam which is there in the universe. Now, in the outside the body, where is this Agni? If you take a log of wood, inside the log of wood, there is Agni. When you in Kaivalya Upanishad, we have a mantra there. When you churn the Agni at the right way, you will get fire. The ritualistic, they use this fire and protect this Arani, this Agni Devata, and then they use it for a ritual. In all the traditional rituals, they used to take this Agni, which is born out of uh, two wooden pieces which are rubbed in friction. This Agni is like a child which is protected by the pregnant women. Like a pregnant woman who protects the child inside, similarly, this Devata is protected in this universe. How to kindle this fire? I have given some drawing here. There is a Uttararani and there is Adho Arani. That means you turn two pieces of stationary log and then a spark will come and the cotton is lit inside that spark. Even in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, in the 5th chapter, this mantra is there, which talks about the Vaishvanara Devata in the body. So when you close your ears, you can hear that Vaishvanara Devata inside your body. You can hear the rumbling sound. Okay. So here what it says, Garbha Eva Garbini. That's what I have explained to you. The ritualistic portion I have explained to you. So in this 8th mantra, what is talked is Etat Vaitat. This whole universe is managed, governed. It is the Devata, which is Sukshma, which your eyes cannot see, like your digestive fire. Nobody will know it unless until you come to the Bhagavad Gita to understand. Similarly, O Nachiketa, this whole universe, there is a consciousness principle. In this consciousness principle, only the whole universe rises and falls out. Try to know this consciousness. Slowly apply your mind into this in this way, and you will reach that consciousness, the subtle consciousness. That is the teaching in the 8th verse. 9th verse.
एतश्चोदेति सूर्योऽस्तम् एतश्चोदेति सूर्योऽस्तम् यत्र च गच्छति यत्र च गच्छति तं देवा सर्वेऽर्पिताः तं देवा सर्वे अर्पिताः तदु नात्येति कश्चन तदु नात्येति कश्चन एतद् वैतत् एतद् वैतत्.
Very beautiful verse again. It talks about that consciousness principle from which the sun rises up every day for us. See, we don't see the world like that. We only see as soon as we get up, we go into activity and that's all. Here, Lord is telling us, see the world in this way. I am that consciousness. Eternally I am there. From that consciousness only the day is born. The sun rises. The sun is seen only in that consciousness. And then where does the sun set? Normally you'll see the sun setting outside, but then where does it merge? In consciousness only it merges. All the devatas, they depend on this consciousness, and there is nothing beyond this. See, Nachiketa wants to know, is there anything beyond the devata also? Nothing. There's only one consciousness, which is the power behind all the devatas. The Surya Devata is shining because of this consciousness. Understand this consciousness in this way, and then you will cross over death. it's very important that our mind becomes sensitive to this teaching. Otherwise, what will happen? You will just hear you hear these verses, and it may not make an impact on you. But if your mind is sensitive, that means you have developed your mind, purified your mind. Then what will happen? These verses, when it is heard by you, immediately it will go to consciousness. It will understand the consciousness here and now. Every devata, the 6, 7, and 9, these three mantras, they talk about the Hiranyagarbha, Taijasa, subtle body pair. Every devata depends on this Hiranyagarbha principle, which is the Surya, which is the Agni Devata. Wave depends on ocean for its survival. Jiva, wave is a part of the ocean. This body is a part of this total Virat Purusha. So there is a part-whole relationship between the wave and the ocean, between the individual body and the total body. What is the relationship? Part whole. My body is a part of the total, total world. It comes from the earth. My breath inside is a part of the total. It is a part of the total air principle in the world. Similarly, my Agni Tattvam is a part of the total. So here, what we have to understand is there are 33 crore, devatas which exist. Comes in Brihadanikopanishad that there are different devatas. We have studied this in the Tattva also. So Surya Devata rises from this Hiranyagarbha and it presides over our eyes. See, for example, this is showing the relationship between the Vyashti and the Samashti. Vyashti means in my body there is an eye. My eyes are able to see the form and color in the universe. But what is the power behind this? It is the power is behind this is the Surya's power. The same Hiranyagarbha power, it is there in the eyes. So depending on one Hiranyagarbha, this entire gross world survives. And this Hiranyagarbha is nothing other than the pure consciousness. It is a consciousness which is reflected in the total universe and in the individual body. Like one electricity is there behind the fan. My fan is rotating. My light is glowing. My TV is able to switch on. But all this is one electricity. One electricity manifests in different instruments. One consciousness manifests in different subtle bodies, different minds, and in different indriyams. The teaching is very simple. There is one consciousness only which controls this entire Jagat. But how beautifully Kathopanishad teaches this, you should grasp it. That is the beauty of Kathopanishad. It's very, very well put. And let us see the 10th mantra now.
Yaddeveha tadamutra Yadeveha tadamutra Yadamutra tadanviha Yadamutra tadanviha Mrutyoh samrutyumapnoti Mrutyoh samrutyumapnoti Ya iha naneva pashyati Ya iha naneva pashyati.
It's a very beautiful verse which Shankaracharya quotes in many, many other bhashyams. See, what he's saying here is that there is only one consciousness in the visible world and in the invisible Brahman. There's one consciousness which is expressing as this Vyashti and Samashti. Everything which is seen is rising from the consciousness which is the seer. But suppose I don't see this oneness in this universe, which is Sarvatma Bhava, then I will be in samsara. This mantra is taken up even in Brahma Sutra for analysis because it's a very tricky mantra. If you are able to see the oneness, then you are divine principle Atma. If you don't see the oneness, if you see the other individual as another body, another person, another individually existing person, you are in samsara all the time. In Mandukya, one consciousness expresses through all the six names. Prajna and Ishvara, Taijasa, Hiranyagarbha, Vishwa and Virat. It is one Turiyam. That Turiyam is Sarvam Brahmamayam. If I know Turiyam, I can say everything else is Brahman only. Brahman only is expressing, that Turiyam only is expressing as all this universe, all these bodies, all these minds, all this causal prapancha. So substance is Atma, Anatma is what? Atma is the substance, it is the reality, it is the truth. What is the world then? World is only name and form. It has no substantiality of its own. Chandogya Upanishad says this very clearly. Vacharambanam vikaro namadeyam. For Vyavahara, we say air, space, we say this name, this Shanti. For Vyavahara, all this is said. But in fact, what exists is only consciousness. Suppose I have gold awareness when I'm looking at the ring or a bangle. Similarly, I have the awareness of the consciousness when I look at this entire different bodies and different minds. Then what happens? I am free all the time. If you gain this knowledge, what will happen? Then I will be changing my perspective from Veda Darshanam to Abheda Darshanam. One Bimba Chaitanyam gets reflected in the different mirrors of different bodies, and then it is called as Pratibimba Chaitanya. So in the Vyavahara plane, there is Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara, Bheda is there. Jiva to Jiva, there is Bheda. Bheda means what? Difference. Jiva and Jagat, the individual and the world, there is a difference. Individual and the creator, there is a difference. In the higher level, when I understand Kathopanishad, everything rises from this consciousness. Then what happens? There is Abheda Chaitanya. In Mandukya Upanishad, this Abheda Chaitanyam is described in the seventh mantra. In Kathopanishad, we have seen this in the first chapter, third section, 15th mantra, Ashabdam, Asparsham, Arupam, Agandham. This is the mantra. And Nanta Pagyam, this is the seventh mantra of Mandukya. Yad eva vartate iha. What consciousness is obtaining, manifesting in the Vyashti, Upadi, Shariram, Tad Amutra Vartate is obtaining in the Samashti, in the total. Virat, Hiranyagarbha, Ishvara. So this verse is said to be a Mahavakyam, where it says, whatever is there in the totality is the same in the individual Jivatma. Jivatma, Paramatma, Aikyam. Chandogya Upanishad has got Tattvamasi. Here, this mantra, it is a Mahavakya mantra. Yadeva eva Tadeva amutra, tatu eva. This word, yat eva, whatever is there in the samashti is there in the vyashti. There is no difference in the jivas. Chaitanyam in an ant, Chaitanyam in an elephant, Chaitanyam in our body. It is the same Chaitanya. Manisha Panchakam says in the first verse itself that if you can gather this knowledge of this pure consciousness, which is shining in the waking dream and sleep state, one consciousness alone is shining, then you have known the creator Brahma, the, the sustainer Vishnu, and the resolver Shiva. So consciousness in Pipilika and Brahmaji is the same. What does the ignorant man says? Ignorant man who doesn't know anything about Upanishads, he is Rajo Pradhana. Rajo Pradhana, he is always in Tamas or Rajas. Whereas a Jnani, he is Sattva Pradhana person. He understands these differences and therefore if somebody knows the electricity is one, but expressions are the bulb and the filaments, then what happens? The person who knows electricity, he gets a third eye of Shiva. They don't see the body as a medium, they only say God alone exists, immortal. He is the one who has got the third eye. He becomes immortal. He has got the Advaita Darshana. Whereas an Ajnani, what will he say? He will keep on the gradation in the universe, comparison, mortality will happen, and so on. Okay. So here, mrityoho mrityum apnoti means a person who sees the difference, he will go from death to death. A person who knows this consciousness, the water principle, one essential consciousness, he will have fearlessness in his mind. Okay, next week we will start the 11th verse and uh, very, very important verse. Neha nanasti kinchana. This verse, number 11, is the message which every seeker should know. Neha nanasti kinchana. Nothing else exists in the world except this consciousness. How how does the Lord of Death says this? We will see the analysis. This is a very important mantra to show that the world is mithya and consciousness is sat. Okay, with this I will close for the day. So we'll start with the 11th mantra next week. Oh, Purnamada Purnamidam Purnam Purnamudachade Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyade. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. I'll go through the I'll go through the topics in the chat box. When we take Manikandan asking, when we take Sarvatma Bhava, how to conduct the transactions, how to keep the ego I not conflicting with the Atma while doing actions in the world. Good question. You should remember the fifth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, which is verse number fifth chapter. I think it is verse number 8 and 9. Manikandan, chapter 5 of Bhagavad Gita, verse number 8 and 9. Naiva kinchit karomiti yukto manyet tattvavid pashyan jikran spashan. That verse. And then the next verse, Pralapan Visrajan, the ninth verse also of the Bhagavad Gita, fifth chapter. See, what it says, Bhagavad Gita says is that all the transactions, vyavahara, you do it. There is no problem. This is all happening at the vyavaharika level. There are two levels of in Advaita. One is Atma level, which is Paramarthikam. Second is the Vyavaharika level, which is transactional world. This is what we talk about immanent and transcendental. I have used these two terms. Immanent means that consciousness, it is available in the transactions also. Consciousness is also available beyond the transactions. So when you come to the transactional world, don't think of Atma. Do the best, whatever is the job in your hand, you do it in the best way possible. The Lord has given you this body, and today I am supposed to do this job. I will do it right now to the best of my ability. Whatever it may be. It may be cooking, it can be office work, it can be learning, it can be helping somebody. So let the transactions go on. While the transactions are going on, don't bring Atma into picture at all. It is there at the back of your mind. Yes, there is a consciousness principle which is the controller of this entire world of transactions. When you want to know the truth of the world, at that time you bring this knowledge in your intellect. This is the knowledge I learned from the Bhagavad Gita or Kathopanishad, that there is an Atma which is always eternally there. What I'm experiencing in the world is mithya. Don't forget the word mithya in your knowledge. Mithya means it is there, it is an appearance, but it is not factually there. So you cannot neglect the world. Let the world continue as it is, but at the back of your mind, you know this whole world is an appearance, but all these appearances are happening in art. How do I understand it is the truth? What does the waker say when he comes out of his dream? Every day morning when you get up in the moment you get up, you say, the dream world is very real when you are experiencing the dream. So, but when you get up, when you wake up, then you say the whole waking world was existing in me, the waker. Similarly, whenever you want to wake up to this knowledge, you must use the knowledge of the Kathopanishad and say, everything in this world is rising. The waking world is rising from this consciousness. I am the consciousness, and claim that. Do that only when you want to do it, not while doing transactions. At transaction level, put all your mind and intellect into whatever is given to you at that point of time. Anytime, whatever the transactions you're supposed to do it well. It's clear, right? So remember the fifth chapter, the eighth and the ninth mantras. Transactions will continue and Atma will remain unaffected with all the transaction. Nothing will happen to Atma. That is the teaching in Bhagavad Gita. That is the teaching in Kathopanishad. It is the same teaching in Mandukya Upanishad. Mandukya Upanishad, what does it say? Let the waking state happen, let the dream state happen, let the sleep state happen. Nothing happens to me, the Turiya. Same principle you apply in Mandukya, in Kathopanishad, and in Gita, and in our practical life. You must use this knowledge in the practical life and say, I am never affected as the Atma. I'm very clear in my mind. I will do the job of a householder. I will go and help wherever it is required. I am the father, mother, I am a brother, I'm a son. I will do all whatever is required. Do the best of your ability. And then you, at the back of your mind, you say, before you go to sleep, what do you say? All this which I experience today, it is an appearance in me, the consciousness. Now I'm going to go back to my original house, original home, which is the consciousness. And then you go down sleep and then you rest in that consciousness. Again, God gives you another day. Again, you enter this body, go through the transactions as per the law of karma, as per the law of the universe. That is Vedantic, practically how you can live Vedantic life day to day. No tension, no worries in your mind. Why there is no tension, no worries, no fears? Totally fulfilled man is a person who knows this nature of Atma. It's a totally different vision. That is what makes you a jnani. That is what makes you from a seeker to the realized master. You become a master of this body. For this knowledge, you were helpless. My mind is suffering. My body is going through this pain, that pain, and all that. Now you say, no, nothing happens to me, the Atma. Okay, good. Thank you, Maniana. Do you have anything else to ask in this regard? Okay, you can unmute now and you can speak. Shanmugam is allowing you to speak up. You can unmute and speak.
Thank you.
Hari Om.
Yeah,
Hari-
Manika. So nothing else, right? Okay, good.
Thank you.
Shama, I'll come back to you. Let me just go through the chat box. Okay, Manikandan says it's okay. When we take Sarvatma, we have to conduct. Okay, that I finished. Are we to understand? Venkatesh is asking, are we to understand that Devatas are present in each individual Agniswara and all what is present in all the individuals is the Devatas, Veshti and Samashti. Yes. Yeah, Venkatesh, what you should understand is Upanishad says there are infinite number of Devatas in this world. Now, in the world, there are Devatas, they are controlling all the activities of the entire universe. Whether it is Surya, whether it is Chandra, whether it is Prithvi Devata, whether there is Agni Devata, Vayu Devata. These are the Panchabhutas. Panchabhutas are nothing but Devatas are controlling the Panchabhutas. Indirectly, these Panchabhutas have got many miniature Devatas which control small things in the world. Now, my body is Vyashti. It is an individual. It is controlled by the Samashti Devatas. No body can exist by itself. There is a power which controls my eyes. There is a power which controls the digestion in my body. There is a power which this is all Devatas. That is what we call it as Devatas. These Devatas are invisible, but they are there. They are there. How do I know this? Only because the Veda tells me Devatas, they control this entire cosmos. Gravitation. How does this gravitation happen? That is, science is discovering it. But these powers, they exist. Okay. So am I clear, Venkatesh?
Yeah, but I was trying to understand a little more detail in a way. I just wanted to understand whether the way I'm thinking is correct. So what I was trying to understand is that these devatas are an aggregate of what is present in each individual. Is it like
Yes,
what was
correct.
told? Like
What is there in
Agni
the
is
total
there in every
universe?
body.
Yes,
Put
it is there
together,
in
it
each
is
body.
right.
Yes.
Okay, that gives a totally different perspective of our understanding of what is this Devadas. It is because many times we say that okay, Devada Prarthana has got
Okay,
not much
okay, okay.
relevance, etc. But actually, we are reinforcing ourselves when we are doing this.
That's
Prarthana.
correct. Yes. So that is, see, in Tattvabodha, if you look at the Tattvabodha text of Shankaracharya, in that text, there is a portion which talks about all our sense organs and this, and also organs of action. The organs of knowledge and 5 organs of action. All these 10 are controlled by each devata. Surya Devata, Chandra Devata controls our mind. Surya Devata controls our eyes. Dik Devata is there. So many Devata. You can refer to Tattvabodha for the details. Pradhanik Upanishad says this is at the Adhyatmika level, at the individual body level. But at the cosmos level, there are Devatas. And that is 33,000 crores of Devatas are there. I mean, how they get this figure, we don't know. It is again Veda which tells us this. Anyway, I think you got the gist of it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Good. Thanks.
good. I get a lot of yes for meditation. Okay, I'm pressed to meditation. Okay, there's a lot of interest in medication. I didn't know there was so much interest. I would have started this long time ago, but anyway, now, okay. So what I will do is I will take the Kathopanishad mantras first for meditation. Then I will take some other Upanishad. Suppose I don't have very important mantras out of Kathopanishad. I will then take some other Upanishad, but which are similarly trying to teach us every meditation exercise. I want you to understand the nature of Atma. That's all. The Upanishad talks a lot about other things, karma, upasana, meditation, other things the Upanishad will talk. But my focus will be on Atma. Okay, so good. Okay, I got the answer to that. Shama is saying yes. Who lends the power to Maya Shakti to hijack the large is asking might get engulfed in negative emotion. Uh, okay, there is no uh, power who lends to Maya Shakti. Maya Shakti is the power. The Adhishtanam of Maya Shakti is Brahman. Now, should a spiritual seeker simply accept his karma phala of my prarabdha karma? Okay, no. What you should, whenever you come to Veda, the moment you come to Veda study, that means Upanishadic study or Bhagavad Gita study, you should say, I have a free will to rise from my prakrita mind, which is a natural mind given to me. I have a free will. God has given me a free will to rise from my natural mind, to purify my mind, and to understand there is a truth principle which is beyond them. There is a principle in this world which is there, which is called as consciousness, which is the truth, which is what we are all trying to understand from all this Upanishad. The law of karma phalam, you use it only to understand why you are experiencing something in this world. So law of karma you apply to analyze your experiences in this world. You use the Guru Shastra jnanam for rising above the mind, for rising above the Maya Shakti. There is a method. You see, the Veda says that all of us are Prakruta Purusha. That means we are just a naturally born, our mind is made up of Panchabhutas. They will have raga, they will have dvesha, they will have, uh, different sorrows in life, they will have emotional disturbances. That is a natural phenomena of the subtle body. So when you look inside your mind, you'll always have desires. You'll have some agitations. You'll have some actions to do. So when you sit in meditation, all these will keep coming. But what you have to do is get out of all this and say, I am the Atma. That is what we are trying to do in meditations and so on. Shama, you can go ahead, explain to me what else you wanted to know.
Yeah, Shekharji, I will illustrate this. And it's just the reason why I thought there is a Maya Shakti, which is so powerful that despite your best of self will and effort and all of that, like for instance, just today itself, I've been awake. It's not because I'm sleep deprived, but I was trying very, very hard to concentrate, and yet I was finding it very difficult. So this is why I wondered that, shall I just accept it that yes, the mind, like the waves, will not always be in, in the highest concentration, highest, like a sattvic mind, which
Yeah,
is
you have to accept it. There is no that you running away from it. It's your mind. That's all. It behaves like this today. It behaves. That's all. So don't get too carried away because the mind was not able to concentrate. It was not able to do meditation. It was not able to sit quietly. That is the nature's way of your experience state. That's all. What you should remember, this experience is Maya. This experience is an appearance. It is not the reality. The experiencer, the consciousness, the sentiency is the truth, which is what I am. It is only knowledge which will save you from this mind, nothing else. The
yes.
more you hear about this Sakshi principle, about this Atma principle, slowly the same mind which is disturbing today so much, it is causing in your lives. It is not allowing you to sit and listen to a class even for 40 minutes properly. The same mind, after some time, it will become sat.
Yeah. I was thinking maybe what I should have done was properly to have before your class to have sat down, let all of the
Don't worry,
rubbish.
not everybody can do it. But just to do, let the life flow.
It
Don't think
generally doesn't happen. It generally doesn't happen. So when it happens, it's
when it
not
happens,
an.
yeah, never criticize your mind because you have to use the same mind. You can't run away from your mind at any time. It is the same mind you have to use for withdrawing. One day you will say, yes, I have withdrawn. I had a fantastic meditation. Even without all this, your mind will probably go into meditation. It is the natural tendency of the mind.
So you
So
don't believe there is an essential vulnerability of the mind, which I can't find. Why is it vulnerable?
yes, no, you can't. Don't dig it. You will never find the truth. You will never get an answer. See, for all of us,
Huh,
I'm telling you, for all of us who are listening,
huh.
understand your mind is Maya Shakti. It is a
Okay,
power of nature.
okay.
Nature, like how can you say that tomorrow morning I will ask sun god not to rise at 7 o'clock, but please allow, come back, rise at 9 o'clock because I want to sleep 2 hours more. You can't do that. That's nature. So it is the law of nature which governs the mind. And
Yeah.
mind is only a Shakti. It is only a vibration which is going on in your inside the body, inside your mind.
Yeah.
This
So,
vibration is a result of so many different factors. There is not a single factor you can say, if I can get rid of my son or my office work, of my jobs at my clinic or something, I can have a peaceful mind. No,
no,
it
it's
is.
not.
See, the mind which rises, it is the Karana Sharira. It is the Karana Shariram which is powered by this Maya Shakti. You see, the Karana Shakti, you see, your mind is throwing bubbles after bubbles of thoughts, and it's carrying you away.
And
Similarly,
what is very strange is this is almost like the further into my spiritual path I am, the harder it is feeling, where say 5 years ago, it didn't feel like such a huge problem.
now you're more aware of your mind.
Yeah, no,
See,
it's
earlier you were not aware of your mind. Today you are
no,
more aware of the mind.
yeah,
So the mind is it's becoming very, very visible to you because
yeah,
you have done the sadhana. The
yeah,
sadhana is helping you to watch your mind.
yeah, no, definitely, that's very true, very true.
It is your sadhana which is
I
helping
can
you to watch the mind.
I
Without the
can watch
sadhana,
it very acutely, very
yeah,
acutely. I was at my son's place, which is just near the Thames River, and I was looking at the river because you can see the river very easily.
yes,
And there's so many waves. I was looking at the waves and I said, this river doesn't have as many waves as I have in my head,
yeah,
And I thought, no, how am I trying to make sense of it? This was the
yeah,
thought which came to me, that probably I will never be able to make sense of it. And basically, you just retreat away from all of those waves and go down to the bottom. That's why I liked, once you said you go down to the bottom of the river, not
yeah,
river or ocean or whatever.
yeah, of the ocean, and
Eh,
see the bed of the
Yeah,
ocean. There
bed
are
of
no
the
waves
ocean.
there.
There are no waves there. So this is what you said. So I was thinking this is the most direct way, that you just forget these waves because they will always be there. You just
And see, your
dive down deep.
mind, you experience this depth of the ocean
Mm,
every day in your sleep state because there is no thoughts.
mm,
It's not that you don't have the experience of the depth of the ocean without any thoughts. We all have it. Only thing is we have not noticed it. We have not recognized that that is also there.
mm,
It is there. For all of us, we experience our sleep state when there is no thoughts at all. It is the thoughts which bring the world to us.
yeah.
Objects, there are three things in the mind. One is the objects from the world. Second is a thought. And the third is the consciousness.
Mhm.
So, what in Mandukya Upanishad, in the fourth chapter, what Upanishad teaches us is that thought and the world is mithya.
Mm,
Consciousness is satya.
mhm,
Now, it is the same in the waking state and in the dream state. In the dream
mhm.
state, it is easy for us to understand because it is when we wake up, we realize everything is the thought only.
And it disappears. So it's for
All
our
the
problem
objects
finished.
were thoughts,
Yeah,
and it was all the mind which is the thoughts. So,
yeah,
object and thought was the mind only.
yeah.
In Mandukya, Gaudapada Acharya says, in the waking also it is exactly the same.
Dream.
You see, the objects are outside, but what disturbs you only when it becomes a thought and it comes into your mind,
It's the thought. Yeah.
it is a thought.
Mhm,
So, in the thought, there is an object of thought and a thought. So,
mhm.
object as well as the thought, both are an appearance. It
Yeah,
is an
yeah,
adhyasa.
yeah,
It is a adhyasa. It is a jnana adhyasa, which refers to the thought, and it is artha adhyasa, which is reference to the object.
yeah,
Artha means object, jnana means thought.
yeah.
So these are the two appearances which consciousness experiences either in the waking state or in the dream state.
Mhm.
And this consciousness is changeless. It is always free.
Hmm.
And I don't hold, this is the way to, why I'm teaching you this is because you're trying to go deep within your mind and trying to understand the nature of the mind.
Correct.
So,
Yeah.
in understanding the nature of the mind, this technical aspect, if you pick up, it will be very easy for you.
Yeah. I'm listening to you right now, and I'm just thinking it should be a not too difficult a task where you can con your mind literally from the Traya Avastha, which we know, is the all my waking experience, which I'm experiencing, is actually basically I actually see that on a screen, you know. So it's inside
Of the
me,
mind,
but
of the mind.
yeah, of the mind, but projected outside. So it's not inside, I've thrown it outside and I'm
Yes,
watching the same stupid shower, who does this, and then she
yes,
does this,
that's correct.
and
Yes.
one moment she's very wise, next moment she's the stupidest person on earth, and just see it come and go, and then and applaud and clap my hands. What a nice show it is.
Yeah. Yeah, but you are experiencing it outside, but it is all inside. It is a thought.
But that's what I want to throw it from inside, because inside is not nice.
You
So
cannot
if I
throw it unless and until you say to yourself, I am the Sakshi.
yeah, but that's what I want to do. I want to watch this drama, which is inside, but I want to, if I can have the capacity to project it outside, so it's not really inside, and then just watch it and, watch the show.
Let the
Yeah.
knowledge come in. Let the knowledge come in as you
But thank
study.
you so much. And
Thank
my
you.
apologies, really. I take away so much of your time. Thank
No,
you.
no, it's
Thank
okay.
you.
Yeah, Vishal, you put up your hand. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, Vishal.
Sir, I this phrase Sarvam Brahma Mayam. Can you just speak a little bit more about it for 2 minutes to explain something?
Yeah, Sarvam Brahma Mayam. See, Sarvam Brahma Mayam means Brahman is Satyam, and Maya, that means whenever I say Sarvam means it refers to the world outside and the world inside me. World outside and world inside is called as Sarvam. Sarvam means not only my internal thoughts, internal passions, internal anger, all the thoughts, all the things which disturb me internally, whatever I can see outside. Outside means what? Outside, which I see, including my physical body and the world. Now, Sarva includes that. Now, Brahma Mayam. Maya means what? It is the Maya Shakti of Brahman only. See, I'll give you an example. When you say, I am the waker who had the dream yesterday, what will you say? Everything in the world in the dream was actually me only. It is me, my thoughts. So it is waker alone appeared as the whole dream world. As Brahman, you can say the waking world is nothing but me, the Turiya Atma. Atma and Brahman is exactly the same. It's the same entity. It's the same consciousness principle, which is appearing as this world, but it is not, the word is not, it is not factually there. It is only an appearance like the dream world. Can you say the dream world was actually there? While dreaming, it was actually there. But when you wake up, it is false. Mithya. Mithya means it can be experienced, but it is not real. Similarly, the waking world, you say, is Brahman. It is the same. Brahman here means pure consciousness. Pure consciousness always exists by itself. It is the only thing which can exist independently. Everything else is dependent on this consciousness. So the moment you say, I am this pure consciousness, it means Brahman Satyam, Jagan Mithya. This two sentences is made as one when you say Sarvam Brahma Maya. That is the essence of these words. Am I clear?
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Good. Yeah. Nandu, you have something?
Yeah, Hari Om, sir.
Tell me.
I think in the fifth sloka, it came word as a Vijayaguptate, and as per my understanding, the similar thing is in Ishavasya Upanishad, where it is like a Sarvatma Bhava mentioned in the sixth
Yes.
sloka,
Correct.
and there
Correct.
also it came as a Vijayaguptate.
Correct. Yes.
And
It's the same. You can understand Vijayaguptate is exactly the same meaning in Ishavasya as well as here, where I refer.
yeah, and the following sloka in the Ishavasya, it is mentioning as a Tatrako Maha Koshokaha
Correct.
Ekatvam Manupachate.
Yes.
So I
For a
guess that it is,
realized man, there is nothing in the world which can cause sorrow for him, which can cause a desire in him.
thank you, sir. And one more thing about like my thoughts on like in the waking state, like it's very difficult to have like that Advaita thing and all. But in dream state for me, I can see myself as a like my name and form within my dream. Also some other things also. If I am able to see that and other things, that means as a real, I am different as a Sakshi. Right? I mean that is the thought we should contemplate on.
Correct.
Yeah.
I
And
am
in
there.
the,
I am there, and the dream objects and dream beings are mithya. They are appearance. They are coming and going, and they are mithya because they are false by nature. They are false. That's all. Same thing. It is difficult to believe it is happening in the waking state also. But when you study Mandukya Upanishad very deeply, as we are studying on Sundays, then there is a time when you will accept this truth that even waking also, it is the same phenomena which is happening. You have to study Mandukya in depth to understand waking is like a dream. That is the essence of Mandukya teaching. The whole 4 chapters are only meant to satisfy the intellect that keep analyzing your dream, keep analyzing your waking state, and see the see the common aspects in both of them, and then you reach a conclusion in your own mind. Till your mind is satisfied that whatever I experience is seen, it is drishyam. Drishyam is always mithya. Drik is the satyam. I am the satya atma. Atma can never become drishyam. Drishyam can never become drik. So this thought process, this analysis, once it happens in your intellect will accept it for sure. Okay.
thank you.
So Nandu,
Thank you, sir.
your idea of the meditation, I tried it out today. Was it useful to you?
Yeah, very useful, sir.
Good.
Appreciate
I'm
it.
sure
Thank you.
because of you, I think I started this whole discussion on meditation on for this session as well.
Yeah,
Anyway,
thank you, sir.
let's see how it goes. Yeah, Shanta, go ahead.
Yeah, Namaste, Shekharji. I think one of the comments already made by Manikandanji about this ocean and the river. And to be honest, that was quite a example which keeps coming all the time. Today, I was not bold enough, like Shamaji, to say I was so disturbed and I couldn't listen.
Yeah.
When she said it, I felt, oh my God, she, she's really bold to say
Yeah.
that. I was a bit shy. But
Yeah.
what I was, when you mentioned about the Advaitam and you gave an example of an ocean, and what was striking was when Shamavaji was talking, it was ocean in the mind, where, uh, you know, both were one and the same, but could be explained in a different way. My question today is, I mean, during that time you mentioned that when we sleep, the mind has got no thoughts, and we are like, or we can think of, we are in the deep depth of the ocean or the ocean bed, right? Um, Now, the mind does not have thoughts, is not a deliberate action of the mind, in my understanding, because the mind has merged with the Hiranyagarbha. There is the reflection consciousness is now gone to sleep, or so therefore there are no thoughts, because the minute the mind is enlightened, or there is that light of um, waking, or whatever you call it, the thoughts will be there. Okay, so this is my understanding. Now, is it possible to imagine or try to achieve this state of um, ocean bed that is complete, thoughtless, still, um, during your waking state, for a normal person like us to achieve? It's like actually being sthita prajna, I believe. I don't know whether that would be equal to that. I believe it's the closest we can do, but is it possible, or is it only when the mind merges to Hiranyagarbha, and it's a nature of the mind to throw the thoughts out?
Okay. I will answer to you in this way that yes, it is possible, but it is difficult. It is not easy. It is possible to get this similar state of the mind during the waking state. It is possible. That is what all the uh, yogis they
Mm,
try to achieve,
mm,
but they do it through pranayama. See, they control the breath. Through
mm,
the breath, they are able to reach the state of mindlessness.
mm,
So all yogis, whoever practices hatha yoga, they will they will be able to share this experience of samadhi state. So what you're talking about, thoughtless state, it is possible
mm,
through the hatha yoga practice. This is one method.
mm,
Okay. So, but it is very, very difficult. Uh,
mm,
it number one. Number two is, even if you are able to get that thoughtless state, the problem is it is only temporary.
mm,
It lasts for a few seconds, few minutes, and or a few hours. But in the end, the karma phalam will push you out of samadhi into the world. It like again you'll come back to Shanta Devi, and then you'll say, okay, I have to do hundreds of things in this world and so on. So it is possible, but as a seeker,
mm,
don't try to go for it at all. Not required. Samadhi is not required according to Advaita.
mm,
What Advaita says is, the moment you get clarity of Atma,
mm,
complete clarity, you see, there you have zero doubts about Atma.
mm,
You will be in that state all the time in your life.
mm,
This is a promise of Upanishads, which says this is the Jivan Mukta state.
mm,
It has got nothing to do with Samadhi state of yogis.
mm,
Jivan Mukta is a person who has understood through the Upanishads
mm,
clearly the knowledge that I am the Atma, which is Asangaha. It is unaffected by any thought in my mind. Mind is there. Mind
mm,
having thoughts. That is the nature of the mind. But I also have my own nature, which is Atma, which is ever Sakshi, which
mm,
is ever Asangaha. which is never affected by anything happening in the thought world or in the gross world of actions.
Mm.
See, this is what is the question Manikandan was asking. What happens to the actions? While doing actions, can I still remember Atma? To him, I said, no, it's not possible. Let the actions happen. But to you, what I'm trying to tell you is your question is different. Can I experience Atma in my normal day-to-day world when I'm
Mm.
in my state of as a state in my state of jivatvam? Is it still possible to realize the Turiya Atma, which is what I am?
Yeah.
The answer is yes. That is why we have the whole Upanishadic teaching is taking. See, this happens only when your mind gets the impact of the world being mithya.
Mm.
Suppose your mind still remembers the satyatvam of the world, of your body, of your thoughts, of the enjoyments of the world, of
Mm.
the fears, of the sorrows of the world. Suppose that you give satyatva buddhi to
Mm.
this aspect,
Mm.
you will not be able to realize Atma's Jivan Mukta state.
It
But
is very strange because whenever I have a desire, it could be simple thing, okay, I'm going to, do something or buy something. And the first thought comes in my mind is, but this is all mithya. What am I after? I don't know why. I'm trying to live my life as a normal person.
yeah,
I know that in this
but you
Vyavaharik
let
Jeevan, I
your,
have
but
to,
you continue your desires and fulfill whatever
yeah,
shopping has
no,
to be
but
done,
the
cooking has to
it
be
is,
done. It will
I'm not
automatically happen.
guilty. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
no, it's not a question of being guilty or I'm not buying or, but what my point, what comes to my mind is, I'm doing all these things, but this is all mithya. I don't know why I'm having this urge of buying something, and I'm not regretting it. I feel in this samsara because I have to live a life. Okay, I need to have clothes. So, or a new dress, I will buy it. But then
It
I
is,
feel to myself, but this is actually mithya. I don't know what is this life or what is this world.
yeah.
That is,
The
I'm
answer
getting
here
into that.
is you
Yeah,
you you should remember the Gita fifth verse 8 and 9, which I talked to Manikandan about. The question, Shin, Chikran, these actions will happen
happen.
automatically. Thoughts will come of desires automatically as per the law of karma.
Karma. Yeah.
You cannot stop these things from coming, but they will happen. In spite of them, I will own up Atma as my real nature.
Yeah, that is what I say. This is a part of my samsara, my prarabdha karma, whatever. So
Yes.
I was supposed to buy this, or I suppose yesterday actually. I'll just share a very short incident. Yesterday I didn't have my breakfast, and I thought, okay, I'll just buy something at the coffee shop. I went there. I asked for a chai, and I asked for a croissant, and then I looked in my handbag, and I was not carrying my wallet. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh my God. I told the lady, I said, stop making my chai. And then the guy behind me, he said, no, I'll buy it for you. Now she had already making. I said, no, no, okay, I'll just have the chai in that case. And he said, no, I'll pay for it. And don't worry, you can have your croissant and this. And I just started, when I came back, I thought, was it in his karma to pay something for me? And that's why he ended up behind me and insisted that I could have my tea and my croissant and I didn't have to worry about it. And I just felt it's like God sent person or whatever. I don't know, because whole day I was supposed to be in the university and I usually don't have lunch. So therefore, my breakfast was my main meal for the day till I
Yeah.
have my
So don't
dinner.
worry.
So
These
these are
incidents
things.
will happen. These are all normal incidents which happen to all of us.
No,
Take
but
it in
now
your
I'm
stride.
connecting it. Yeah, but I connect it sort of. I either say that that person was owed me in my last birth and he has now done it, or maybe it was just designed that way because it is very, very unusual that I walk around without a wallet in my bag. So that was
Maybe you
one
will
thing.
maybe you'll buy a cup of tea for another person another day. You never know.
Yeah,
This whatever you have got, you might repeat it. You might offer it to somebody else. They say, "Come on, I want to just give you a cup of tea."
yeah.
It's
So now
possible.
coming back, yeah, sorry, coming back to my question, this this mind and um, this samadhi. From the time you have, I mean, I'm listening to your talks, whether it was the Bhagavad Gita or this, you've always mentioned that you don't need to go to the Himalayas to become Jivan Mukta. You don't have to actually be in the Samadhi to become Jivan Mukta, because it is Brahma Gyan is available without doing all these things. Living in samsara, you can be Jivan Mukta, which I always believe, or even believed before. And that is why I was never attracted to any of these institutions of, whether it was of, Munis, or I respected that, because that is, that is an organization. But I would never like to get associated with any or go anywhere, like looking for a guru or these things of that sort. But from the time actually I have started learning a bit more in depth, and especially certain mantras which I'm learning by heart, uh, there is a pull in my mind which tells me, um, I have to go to a remote place. I don't know why that thought comes to me. And then and that, I think I mentioned last time, that dream of that temple in middle of nowhere, which I've got no idea where it is. But something in me tells me, the more mantras I'm learning by heart, the more thoughts are coming that this is not for me. I have to go somewhere which is, I don't know whether it's a Himalayas or it's the mountains or it's in the forest, but a thing like a forest sort of pulls me. Now, has it got any connection with my studies, or is it just, I don't know how to connect it, because it's not even a dream now. It's not even a dream. It's just me learning, and this thought keeps coming to me. So, is it a part of our learning which is making me, I don't know what, or should
Oh,
I,
you see,
how do I interpret this?
yeah. See, whenever these thoughts come, you take
Mm,
it as okay. These are just thoughts. Okay. Now,
mm.
if these thoughts become a serious push
Yeah,
for
it is
you to
becoming a
leave
serious push now.
something, and if it becomes a serious push, then automatically, if it has to happen, let it happen. Let it happen. Whenever it happens, it happens. You just drop this idea. See,
So it is not like me. I'm not trying to pursue anything, because
yeah,
I never believed in all this. As I,
correct.
initially said, that I never believed in going for any guru, all these, these things. I was completely against all these things, because I felt that the authenticity and the purity of the Diksha people is a question, and the doubt in my mind would never let me go there. Even there might be genuine gurus. I'm not saying no, but it was my mind. And when you mentioned a number of times that you don't have to go to Samadhi, or you don't have to go to the Himalayas, it was reverberating with me very well, because I felt the same, that I don't have to go anywhere. I can be Jivan Mukta sitting in my own house in, in UK. Uh, but it is becoming a bit of a problem now, because last 2 months it is becoming more and more serious. I mean, I was trying to think that I'm thinking too much about it, but I stopped thinking about it, or I tried to push that idea away, that I don't have to go anywhere. And I keep listening to your talk saying, you don't have to, you can be Jivan Mukta now and here. But I don't know, is there any such prarabdha which is doing this to me, or is it just because I'm learning certain mantras, or is
It is
that the
not
effect on my
because it
mind?
is no. It is not because of your learning of Bhagavad Gita mantras. This thought is coming to you. It is not
Mm,
because of that. See,
okay.
the learning of Bhagavad Gita mantras is to
Mm,
neutralize these type of thoughts. It is meant for neutralization. Even the study of Upanishad is to
mm,
neutralize these type of thoughts, because ultimately the God's teaching is any thought is mithya.
mm.
You see, that is where you should say that this is the
Stop.
teaching of the Lord, who says that the subtle body is mithya. It is
Mm,
an appearance, it will go away. It
mm,
keeps on coming. Okay, when let it come. Like I see this waking world also. It keeps on coming only.
mm,
In my consciousness, the waking world is also coming. The dream world of these thoughts is also coming. The real teaching is It is the God's teaching which says subtle body is mithya. The gross world is mithya. Mithya means it is an appearance. Nobody can stop it from appearing. But I can drop it as mithya. I am the Satya. These thoughts are meant to for you to realize your nature as Satya Atma, not for you to get carried away and get into this Maya world of either temple or forest and all that. Don't get caught up in these ideas.
Okay.
Either in the waking world or in this dream world, thought world, all of us we just get caught in this Maya and we suffer the world of samsara. So the answer to your this thing is don't fall into the thought world of Maya Shakti, which is samsara. You can't neglect this. You can only say it is a Shakti which is there in this body. I am the witness of this Shakti. I've got nothing to do this. They just come and go. Let them appear, let them go. I'm not bothered.
No, thank
So
you
can I
for telling
add
that, because
my
I
experience?
actually stopped learning some the mantras by heart because I got worried
No,
that
no. See,
it was getting a bit
that is all
difficult.
illusion. You see, your mind is throwing up some solutions to your problem. It is delusion.
Okay, okay,
Okay.
that sounds soothing. I think somebody wanted
Okay.
to say
Bharat
something.
has said very beautifully, Satyam Jnanam Anantam is the substratum from which you can see your mind. See, never forget the substratum. Satyam Jnanam Anantam is my own real self. So even Shanta, for you, always remember, I am the pure consciousness. Whatever is experienced is thoughts, appearance. They are all appearance. They are all adhyasa. This is the final teaching of Mandukya Upanishad. It is the final teaching even in Kathopanishad. It is telling me that what I am really searching for is that consciousness, which is the witness to all this. The Sakshi aspect of yours, never drop it. Keep claiming that, and then the rest, let Lord take care of it. Thank you, Bharat,
Thank
for
you.
explaining
Thank you.
this. Anything else you wanted to add, Bharat?
So can I say a few words on this?
Hello.
Yeah, let Bharat say, then Vishal. Yeah, Bharat, go ahead.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
I just wanted to say to Shantaben, I totally empathize with you, and I have also felt like that as well. Throughout our lives, we move from different events happen, and we end up in a different life experience. But I just wanted to point out, as you were speaking, I remembered a song, a pop song by a band called Crowded House. And there's some lyrics in there: wherever you go, you take the weather with you. So you might find that when you go into isolation, the weather that you have inside of you is still with you. And that in itself is a great, great teaching. And if that's the case, you don't actually have to go anywhere. Shekaji is 100% spot on correct. You can be where you are right here, right now. The understanding is that you are consciousness, you are that reality. Anyway, that's all I wanted to
thank
say.
you. Thank you very much. I think that phrase really helped. That yes, wherever you are, you're going to carry that weather from in your mind. So why go anywhere? Sit at home and experience it.
If that's what's happening, that it's what Lord Krishna said to Arjuna. For karma yoga, don't have any expectations on the fruits of action. If whatever you find yourself doing, do that. You can only do what's in front of your nose, as the Buddha says. Great advice, but you don't have to. You don't have to log in to the thoughts. You don't have to check in with the mind. The mind is going up and down, up, down, left, right. Ding dong, ding dong.
Yeah.
It's actually quite funny.
No, I got a bit worried because it was when I started learning these mantras by heart, these thoughts started coming. And I was hoping that I will be more quieter or more, not having all these things, and I'm going to, become sthita prajna. That was my aim. And here I am going actually opposite. So I got worried and I actually stopped
This
I'm
this
learning by heart.
Don't stop
don't,
chanting and don't
yeah.
stop learning the mantras, because see, our mind is, there are two types of emotions. One is the plus and the minus. There are two powerful forces
Birds,
which are
yeah,
there
yeah, yeah.
inside us. So
Mm,
the powerful force of the mantras will
mm,
push out those negative thoughts out of you. See, these are all expressions which your vasanas are getting exhausted. The
mm.
moment it
May
comes
may
up,
I
yeah, go ahead, Bharat.
yeah may I just say that Shantaben, I feel like I said, a lot of empathy for you, and I just want to point out that Shankara's Bhashya, where this clay pot example,
Mm.
where everything you touch is nothing but clay.
With clay,
So
clay. Yeah.
everything you see around you, the experience is everything mithya.
Mm,
It feels real, but it's
mm.
nothing but
That-
consciousness.
yes. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm very thankful to all of you because, I mean, to Shekharji and yourself, Bharatji, it's because it sort of put me in very uncomfortable position. And today, actually, listening to Shamaji when she was quite bold enough to say that she was, disturbed, I felt, okay, I can also,
No, no,
share this
don't.
fear
So,
of mine which
so
pushed me into this.
to quote Ravana Maharishi, who knows that disturbance? Just and don't try to answer it. Just sit with it. Who knows that disturbance?
Yeah. Bharat, but I'm very tempted to ask you. I suspect you have discovered a way of how to log in the mind. Are you happy to share?
I know that's the
I think he
question.
has discovered. He's not telling us.
Yeah,
The,
you,
the,
Bharat, you can dial up and tell both of them how to log into your mind and how to
Because then it's very simple.
delete your
You
mind.
log in and then you quickly say, no, not this, and ta-da, that's the one which I want.
who,
Yeah,
And
delete.
who is saying not this, not this? Who is saying that? Who is trying to negate? Who is doing anything?
anyway, share it next time, Bharat. I am very sure you've
Will
got
do.
it. You've got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bharat.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, Vishal,
Yes.
you wanted to say something?
So I wanted to just, add on to this. Even I've been thinking, why I get these thoughts and how the mind works. And I've got around 30, 35 years I've tried to study. And this is what I've understood. I'm just
Mm.
sharing.
Mm.
I may be wrong. But you see, whatever the Brahman wants to do with our mind-body organism,
Mm.
whatever the Brahman wants to do with our mind-body complex,
Mm.
according to that, it keeps sending us thoughts. Now, the first mistake we do is our thoughts. There is nothing like my thoughts. Thoughts don't belong to us. Thoughts are, we have identified ourselves with the thoughts. Thoughts arise. The source of the thoughts is the Brahman, and they arise within us. And we think that they belong to us and they are our thoughts. We have produced them. We don't produce any thoughts. The thoughts come to us as per what the Brahman wants. Suppose the Brahman wants me to be a doctor, I will get a thought that, okay, I want to be a doctor, or I want to go to the hills, or I want to go to the beach. So, and whatever thoughts come, we have to just go with the flow. And if something has to happen, whatever the Brahman has thought for us, for example, suppose I get a thought that I want to go to Goa, and I get a thought, and then I meet somebody there, and after 1 year I'm married to that person. So depending on my destiny and karma and what the Brahman has in store for me, it keeps sending us thoughts, and we are the hardware, the mind body, and we just keep reacting to that, because what are we? We are nothing but a reaction to whatever comes to us in our mind. So that's about it. Our thoughts hote hi nahi hai. Thoughts arise within us. We are just a witness. Therefore, we can witness our thoughts. We are separate than the thoughts. So the thought, the source of the thought is also the Brahman. We have to go with the flow. Whatever happens, if good thing happens, then also good. Bad things happen, then we learn from it. And the
So we
so-called
don't
bad
own
things,
anything, good or bad. We don't own anything.
we don't own
Because we
anything.
are,
And
it's true, because we are Brahman, right? I mean, if we consider
absolutely,
ourselves as
and
consciousness, then everything
absolutely.
is, yeah, not ours. We are just
Absolutely. So
witness
the
to
mind
everything.
also is not ours, and the thoughts keep coming. And I have actually for last 20, 30 years, I've kept a journal on what thoughts came to me and why they came and what finally happened with those thoughts and what I became. I'll give you an example, sir. I am not a writer. I'm a computer engineer and a criminal side lawyer. I have never thought of writing books. Suddenly, 5 years ago, thoughts started coming to me. I have to write a book. Now I am telling my thoughts. Are you mad? Vishal Gupta writing a book? I have written 15 books.
Oh
I
my
have written
God.
15 books. Now, if you told me 10 years ago that I will write a book, I would have laughed. I would have laughed, and I have done things which I could have never imagined I have done, and there were no thoughts before. So basically, I realized I am not the creator of my thoughts. I am nobody. The thoughts come depending on what the Brahman wanted this mind body organism to do, and I have just reacted, and it gave me the people also. It's not that it just gave me the thought to write a book. It gave me a
Yeah.
person who will help me in this, who will help me in that.
That.
You see the life of celebrities. I have studied, again, this is a part of my interest. You study the life of Shakti Kapoor, for example. He's come on Instagram and he'll tell you how he got his first role in that movie Kurbani. His car crashed with Firoz Khan's car. Or you see Govinda's story or Amitabh Bachchan's story. Any celebrity, they will tell you the thoughts came, or whatever they call luck, so-called luck. It was all
Planned,
not a
planned in
conspiracy.
it.
It's all the Brahman wanting to do and getting the right people together at the right time to make things happen, depending on their prarabdha karma. This is what I have understood, and I'm, sir, after that, very, very well relaxed. Even if bad thoughts come, suppose I just watch them as a sakshi bhav, and if the thought, good or bad, whatever thought has to materialize. Suppose I just came back from Himalayas, 15 days I was there in Himachal.
Oh.
A strong thought came to me, strong thought in somewhere in April, that I must call my Jijaji at Pathankot and talk to him about spending 15 days in the Himalayas. And I just picked up the call and a phone and I called, and he also said yes, come over. You see, and then things just materialized. The program got made. He was going somewhere else. Blah blah blah. But the point being that, did I sit down to think of that thought? No, the thought just arose from somewhere within my consciousness. The source being the consciousness, I reacted to it, and that's about it. Sorry, sir,
Vishalji, this really, this is
no.
this looks more comfortable to me, because I just allow that whatever happens, happens. I'm not going to think more. And I, to some extent, I've experienced this as well. Because in 2012, I think, when I met a person, he said, you should have a guru, you should learn this, you should do this. I didn't believe in any of this. And I said, oh, I'm not going to go into all this spirituality and, getting into these gurus and all this. I said, that is all, that's not my area at all. This was in 2012. And here I am, 2024.
I will mention one more interesting thing. In 2020, I have a friend who comes from France, and she goes to Rishikesh and all these places to meet gurus, and I've been telling her, no, I don't want to come. From 2008, 12 years, she kind of tells me, come. And I've been saying no. 2020 also I told her no, but suddenly she just said, come, and things just worked out. And I went to Rishikesh to meet Muji. You heard of Muji? Muji is a well-known guru nowadays, very big fan following. And I went, and the first day, first show, and there were around 3,000 people in the hall, to the quiet thing, we have to ask questions. And the first day, I was sitting somewhere, in the middle, and he picked me up from the middle, and he said, yes, you asked the question today. I have the video on YouTube on 27th February 2020. The point I'm trying to make is, I tell him the same thing, that I had absolutely no intention of coming here to Rishikesh in 2020, February 27th. But suddenly, I'm there. Now, how it happened, how things worked out, I don't know. I've stopped planning. I mean, the basic planning is done, but I stopped planning more than that, because you never know what will happen next minute, and you have to just go with the flow. So,
Yeah. It's very
I'm
strange. You
a
talked
Devra
about,
Baba.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's very strange. You spoke about 2020 February to go into Rishikesh. I was supposed to be in August in Rishikesh for 1 month. And I had also, told my office I'm going to take 1 month holiday and go to Rishikesh because they were starting this Vedanta course for adults for 1 month. And because of COVID, it never happened. So I never managed to reach there, and you managed to reach there. Yeah. By the way, you mentioned about Goa that you would, thinking. I am from Goa, so anytime you wish to go to Goa, do let me know.
Okay, Shanta. Thank you,
Yeah,
Vishal.
thank you.
It's nice to share these things because it helps others also. I think we'll close for the day and then we'll continue next week. Thank you very much. And
Shakilji, can I just say something quickly, please?
yeah,
I just wanted to say, just to repeat, only Brahman is the I, the individual. Only Brahman is. You are that Brahman. Thinking you're an individual, you are that Brahman. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, and I think
Brahma Satyam
that's
Jagat
true.
Mithya, Jiva
Yeah,
Brahmevana. You are that Brahman.
yeah. So I think that
The
that
I,
is
the
very, very
individual,
good. Yeah, very good. Yeah,
bring it
that I
back,
think that
bring it back.
yeah, it completes that whole conversation. That nothing is this body, mind, soul, whatever you call it. This system. This.
Every the experiences may continue, but in deep sleep, there you are. There you are with nothing around you. In deep sleep, there you are. Samadhi, no samadhi, there you are. Choicelessly, effortlessly.
Mm.
Thank you, thank you,
thank you.
Shakti, for allowing
Thank
me
Thank
you,
to
you
Bharat.
very
speak. Thank
much.
you.
Yeah, and sorry we had this very long conversation
No, no,
today.
it's okay. As long as it
Thank you.
helps everybody, it's fine. Thank
Yes,
you.
Thank
And
you.
we'll catch up next week.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you.